cosmic spark struck by human hands quickly raged out of control. Spears of nuclear fire rained from the skies. Continents were swallowed in flames and fell beneath the boiling oceans. Humanity was almost extinguished, their spirits becoming part of the background radiation that blanketed the Earth. A quiet darkness fell across the planet.
Hey guys, Captain Shaq here, and welcome to Episode 8 of Fallout History and Lore. In the last episode, we took a look at the story of Fallout 3, what happened in the DC Waste. In this episode, we're going to take a look at Fallout New Vegas, and follow the courier's travels. Fallout New Vegas was announced on April 20th, 2009 at Bethesda's London showcase. The first official information was released on February 2010 in an issue of PC Gamer, along with a cinematic teaser and a gameplay trailer. Fallout New Vegas is set in the post-apocalyptic area around Las Vegas, Nevada. Unlike the other Fallouts, New Vegas had the player take on the role of the courier, who was hired by a delivery service to take an unknown package across the Mojave Desert to the Strip, which was relatively untouched by the war. But before the delivery can be made, you are intercepted and shot in the head.
Maybe cons kill people without looking them in the face. But I ain't a fink. Dig? You've made your last delivery, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this scene. From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
The courier is left for dead by a mysterious man in a suit. A friendly local robot named Victor finds your body and takes you to a man named Doc Mitchell, who tends to your wounds. Here is where the player awakens and character creation begins. Fallout New Vegas ran on a reworked Game Broyo engine, adding extra lighting effects to accommodate the Las Vegas Strip. The game's combat still has the VAT system from Fallout 3, with the addition of specific VAT attacks when you use certain melee weapons. In addition, the firearm gameplay was improved with the ability to modify weapons, adding things like scopes, extended magazines, and much more, as well as an iron sight system for much more accurate aiming. Crafting was also introduced in a much more in-depth manner, with the ability to make ammunition such as hand-loaded rounds. A new plant harvesting system was added, just like the Elder Scrolls games, and the survival skill was added. With a large quantity of factions, the developers reintroduced one of my favorite systems in the Fallout universe, the Fallout faction system. Actions for or against a certain faction would affect the player and the world around him, including the player's karma, which worked independently of the faction reputation system. This can affect things like conversation options and world events. Companions in Fallout New Vegas were given a new control system called the Companion Wheel, eliminating the need to start a conversation to change those basic options like the aggressiveness of your companion or to open your companion's backpack. Each companion has a unique perk given to the player after being recruited. An example of this would be Boone's Spotter perk, which highlights enemies when you go to iron sights. The player can have one humanoid companion and one non-humanoid companion. My favorite feature from New Vegas is Hardcore mode. This option difficulty mode delivers more realism and adds to the immersion by adding new statistics that encourage the player to make very careful decisions when dealing with resource management and combat tactics. The game is changed in several ways, such as stim packs and other items no longer heal the player instantly, but work over a period of time. Radaway removed radiation slowly, and stims will no longer heal crippled limbs, so you'd have to use a doctor's bag. Or a Hydra. Your character must eat, sleep, and drink to avoid starvation, dehydration, and exhaustion. And when companions' life points hit 0, they would actually die instead of losing consciousness. Amazingly, these functions were inspired by some of the popular mods for Fallout 3, so way to listen to your community, Bethesda and Obsidian. Fallout New Vegas takes place during the year 2281, 4 years after the events of Fallout 3, 204 years after the Great War of 2077. New Vegas and its surrounding area are divided between the various factions. The three major factions that the courier has to deal with are the NCR military, Caesar's Legion, and Mr. House. The NCR, returning from Fallout 2, is stretched thin with low supplies and has been horribly mismanaged. The Legion is a slave-driving army loosely based off the Roman Empire, having conquered 86 tribes and is now pushing to take control of New Vegas. And then lastly, we've got Mr. House, the mysterious businessman who controls New Vegas with an army of Securitron robots. There are other smaller factions and groups. They are the Boomers, a tribe of heavily armed vault dwellers who have taken shelter in the Nellis Air Force Base. The Powder Gangers, a violent group of escaped convicts. The Great Khans, a tribe of drug dealers and raiders. You've got the Brotherhood of Steel, you know, my favorite group, the technology-craving remnants of the US military who are attempting to secure any heavy weapons that could cause serious harm. Landmarks featured in Fallout New Vegas are the Hoover Dam, which supplies power to New Vegas, Nellis Air Force Base, and the Helios 1 solar energy plant. The game proceeds according to the player's decisions and involves many different events, factions, and characters, but the main storyline follows the player's pursuit of Benny to both settle the score and retrieve the platinum chip. Eventually, after finding Benny and the chip, the courier finds themselves in the middle of a conflict between these three factions I earlier said. Each of the three sides aims to control the Hoover Dam, which is still operational and supplying the Southwest with power and clean, non-irradiated water. Thus, the control of the dam means effectively controlling the region. It is revealed through the story that Mr. House, a human from before the Great War, is surviving via a contained life support chamber, ordered the platinum chip's delivery before the war. The chip is a data storage device that is programmed with an upgrade to the Securitrons to give a greater level of combat effectiveness. Now, Benny's plan was to take over House's security and claim New Vegas for himself with the help of a reprogrammed Securitron called the Yes Man. The player has the option to pursue one of the four paths. Either you're going to fight for the NCR, you're going to fight for the Caesar's Legion, or work with Mr. House. The last option is to take up Benny's plan to take over New Vegas for your own, with the Yes Man's assistance. After a line of quests where the player deals with the outsider factions to determine their role in the looming battle, the player is notified that Caesar's Legion is attacking Hoover Dam, and they must take part to decide the outcome. As the Legion strikes the dam, led by the fearsome Legate Lannis, the NCR protects its position under General Lee Oliver. Depending on the factions that you've sided with up to the point of the battle, the player will either conquer the dam for Caesar, defend it for the NCR, or connect the dam system to the House's network so he or Yes Man can take control. The game concludes with a slideshow showing the results of the player's actions, the battle for Hoover Dam deciding the faction that comes to power over New Vegas and the Mojave, and the fates of the various other factions based on how the player negotiated with him, which of the major factions emerged dominant. So, that's Fallout New Vegas in a nutshell. It's one of my most enjoyed Fallout games. I really do love that game. It's got a lot of depth to it, if it had a lot of major flaws and bugs when it first came out. It's also got a very active modding community still, and I cover those mods in my Fallout Mod Armory series over on my channel, TheXPGamers. So, next time on Fallout History and Lore, I want to look back at the expansions. That's right, I listened to your comments, and I did graze over the expansions, I didn't even mention them, and I want to, because that's some of the best content for Fallout 3 and for New Vegas. So next time, we're going to look at Fallout 3, all the DLCs and what they bring to the Wasteland. Alright guys, I hope you liked this video. Please, like this video, subscribe to my channel for modding goodness, or TGN for more gaming goodness. And as always, thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time.